Hey everyone, welcome to Hero Villains. Thank you all for always watching and supporting the channel. Who do you think wins when Red She-Hulk clashes with Faora Hu Ul when Rage collides with a Kryptonian Warrior? The battle between Red She-Hulk and Fiora Hu Ul is a confrontation between explosive rage and perfect combat skills. Red She-Hulk, the transformed version of Betty Ross, possesses immense physical strength similar to the Hulk, but it's amplified by her ability to absorb and release heat energy. The angrier she gets, the hotter her body becomes, creating highly destructive attacks capable of melting and shattering any obstacle. Fiora Hu Ul is an elite Kryptonian warrior, raised in a harsh combat environment. Under a yellow sun, she possesses strength equal to the most powerful Kryptonians: super speed, flight, near invulnerability, and superior close-quarters combat skills. Fiora is not only strong, but also incredibly precise and ruthless with every strike. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please hit the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you all very much. Betty Ross, daughter of the brilliant General Thunderbolt Ross, grew up under the powerful shadow of her father, a tough general who always put duty above all else. In contrast to her father, her heart belonged to Bruce Banner, the man cursed to become the Hulk. Their love was never peaceful, sometimes gentle, sometimes stormy, always challenged by the destructive power Banner could not control. The true tragedy began when Betty realized a harsh truth. Being near the Hulk for too long had subtly poisoned her with gamma radiation. Her health deteriorated daily, but even more terrifying was her inability to leave the man she loved. Meanwhile, Abomination, the Hulk's arch-enemy, secretly watched. Fueled by hatred after his humiliating defeat, he exploited this weakness. In a cruel act, he injected his gamma-infected blood into Betty, pushing her toward a cold death. But death was not the end. The leader intervened, turning Betty's body into an experiment. From the ashes, she rose with a completely different form, Red She-Hulk, an entity both familiar and alien, possessing terrifying power and uncontrollable rage. She chose to remain anonymous, existing in the shadows, until fate forced everything into the open. The fateful moment occurred when Scar delivered a fatal sword strike. The glowing red shell crumbled, revealing her true identity. Betty Ross had returned, but she was no longer the woman she once was. Secrets were torn apart, past and present colliding violently. Bruce tried to deny it, to cling to the image of the woman he once loved. But this very struggle caused Betty to lose control. Once again, rage erupted, and Red She-Hulk returned, stronger, more pained, a living testament to the tragedy of love destroyed by uncontrollable power. Red She-Hulk is the embodiment of raw power pushed to its limits. In this state, she can lift over 100 tons, a figure enough to crush all normal limits. What's special is that any physical training Betty underwent in her human form does not disappear, but is amplified when she transforms. This makes every punch, every movement of Red She-Hulk carry the weight of an earthquake. Her legs, strengthened by colossal muscles, allow her to perform incredible leaps. With just one bound, she can soar over 600 feet high or dash over 1,000 feet, tearing through the air at astonishing speed. Her mobility isn't just about strength, but also explosive speed. In close combat, Red She-Hulk is truly a nightmare. Her strength gives her a clear advantage against many opponents within the Hulk family, turning every attack into immense pressure. However, even with that power, she once lost to She-Hulk in a direct confrontation. While her maximum limits remain unknown, her strength rating has been recorded at level 7, a tier for entities capable of lifting over 100 tons. But that number cannot fully describe her true nature. Red She-Hulk is not just strong, she is rage personified, the roaring echo of a soul once hurt. Her muscular system operates with superior efficiency, producing very few fatigue-inducing toxins compared to humans. As a result, she can maintain a continuous combat state for nearly 2 days before feeling physical decline. Red She-Hulk's body is also like a living fortress. Her skin is strong enough to withstand immense pressure, extreme temperatures, dizzying falls from great heights, even artillery shells and powerful energy explosions without harm. Every impact with her is like hitting a moving steel wall. Her agility and body control also reach extraordinary levels. Red She-Hulk is not only strong but also flexible, with every movement precise and powerful, far exceeding any physical standards known to humans. Her healing factor makes everything even more terrifying. Although she can be harmed, severe wounds or blood loss are quickly healed in a short amount of time. However, her body still has certain limits as it cannot fully regenerate lost body parts. The most notable point lies in her ability to absorb and release energy. She can siphon gamma radiation, cosmic energy, and even magic to increase her power. Accumulated energy can be released through physical contact, creating destructive attacks. Even her body becomes a weapon, as her acidic saliva is strong enough to incinerate targets. Red She-Hulk also possesses methodical combat skills and weapon proficiency. The sword, crafted by Tony Stark using Stark Industries technology and Uru metal from Asgard, became a symbol of her ferocity during the Fear Itself event. When heroes faced Kull, Odin's forgotten brother, her ability to survive is almost impossible to extinguish completely, making death a luxury concept. In the heat of battle, her every footstep echoes like thunder, the ground shaking with each movement. In direct confrontations with the Hulk, she was never outmatched, sometimes even dominating or maintaining an astonishing balance. She once delivered a kick that sent Red Hulk falling from the Empire State Building, a moment demonstrating her powerful strength. In an encounter with She-Hulk, Red She-Hulk at one point gained a clear advantage, even constricting her opponent to the point of breaking their neck. However, She-Hulk's combat experience later allowed her to turn the tide. Additionally, she easily defeated Lyra and Doc Samson, asserting her superior position among Gamma-related individuals. Her most terrifying moment occurred when she absorbed energy from 6 Gamma bombs and the magical power of Fin Fang Foom. At that time, she transformed into a colossal entity, reaching 300 meters tall. Every movement caused the ground to tremble, and when she collided with the Hulk, the aftershocks were powerful enough to damage both the planet and its surrounding satellites. Red She-Hulk also demonstrated strength beyond limits by tearing apart Umar's magical tentacles, striking through space, and surviving an explosion in the core of a helicarrier capable of incinerating a vast area. She even damaged the Dark Dimension, a place considered the domain of supernatural forces. She has clashed with formidable names like Abomination, Thor, and Wolverine. While not always achieving absolute victory, she has proven her mettle by escaping terrible holds or dodging deadly attacks. Red She-Hulk also served among the Defenders and the Order of the Shield, helping to combat threats that could destroy the world. I really hope you'll subscribe to the channel, it helps us a lot, and you're the best. Thank you so much. Now let's talk about Faora Hu Ul. Faora Hu Ul is no ordinary warrior. She is the embodiment of cruelty forged by Kryptonian civilization itself. Born in Al-Azhar on the planet Krypton, she soon revealed her twisted nature and craving for absolute control. Proclaiming herself an enemy of men, Faora targeted only male Kryptonians, turning them into victims in a prolonged series of crimes. Not content with just killing, she also established a detention camp where other Kryptonians were enslaved under her cold control. Fiora's strength lies not only in her physicality but also in her supreme combat skills. She is a master of Horu Kanu, Krypton's most dangerous martial art, allowing her to exploit every weakness of her opponents with deadly precision. Before her capture, she took over 23 lives, each incident bearing the mark of brutal calculation. The day of final judgment arrived. Faora was tried and sentenced to over 3 centuries of exile in the Phantom Zone, a timeless prison for the most dangerous individuals. But this place, which seemed like an end, became the door that allowed her to survive after Krypton's destruction. In the endless void of the Phantom Zone, she met other survivors, including Drew Zod and Jax-Ur. Thanks to Jax-Ur's technological knowledge, especially his understanding of kryptonite, Faora's group found a way to escape this invisible prison. When the portal opened, they not only regained their freedom, but also stepped into a completely new world. And there, an inevitable confrontation awaited them with Superman, the last son of Krypton. When Faora stepped into the light once more, her eyes remained unchanged. still cold, still burning with an insatiable thirst for control. For her, Krypton's downfall was not a loss, but an opportunity. Under the light of a yellow sun, Faora Hu Ul was no longer a forgotten prisoner, but the complete embodiment of Kryptonian power. Her body absorbed solar radiation like an endless energy source, nourishing every cell and storing power for when it was needed. From that energy source, terrifying abilities began to manifest. Fiora's eyes could become deadly weapons, emitting heat rays powerful enough to incinerate any target with just a glance. She controlled the intensity and range, turning each attack into a tool of absolute precision. Her hearing also surpassed all limits, allowing her to perceive the smallest sounds from immense distances. When necessary, she could filter out all ambient noise to focus on a single signal, like a predator silently locking onto its prey. Fiora's vision went beyond mere sight. She could observe the entire electromagnetic spectrum, from invisible rays to the most subtle movements. This gave her battlefield awareness at a level almost unparalleled by any opponent. Every movement, every change was within her control. As she stood beneath the blazing sky, that power surged like a tide, spreading with every breath. The surrounding air grew heavy, the light reflecting in her sharp, cold eyes like a harbinger of an approaching storm. For Faora, power was not a gift, but a weapon to control the world, and anyone who fell into her gaze understood they faced a force not easily resisted. Her speed was not merely fast movement, but a combination of perfect will and reflexes. In just an instant, she could cover vast distances or stop a speeding bullet in midair. Faora's breath also became a terrifying weapon. From her chest, she could generate hurricane force winds, powerful enough to sweep away everything in their path. When needed, that airflow could be cold enough to instantly freeze targets or reverse into a vacuum, drawing in air and moisture with immense pressure. Time itself seemed to yield to Faora. With continuous exposure to a yellow sun, she could maintain a lifespan far beyond normal limits, preserving her appearance and peak physical condition for extended periods. Previously, in the Phantom Zone, she existed as an entity that could not age or be destroyed. Faora also possessed abilities that directly affected the mind. She could emit psychic energy blasts powerful enough to weaken other Kryptonians who had been imprisoned in the Phantom Zone. However, Superman, having absorbed yellow solar energy for an extended period, was almost immune to this type of attack. Additionally, telepathy allowed Fiora to communicate without words. When all these abilities converged, Faora was no longer just a warrior, but a living whirlwind carrying both terrifying power and coldness. The space around her seemed distorted by invisible speed and pressure. Every movement, every glance exuded a sense of absolute control. In her first encounters with Superman, Faora forced him to retreat with a combination of martial arts and psychic attacks. In later stages, she continued to prove her prowess by confronting Superman and Wonder Woman simultaneously. Initially overwhelmed, but when empowered by Apollo with solar energy, Faora turned the tide. With explosive power, she defeated both and threw them into a reactor, creating a moment that showcased her terrifying nature when she reached her peak state. Faora also partnered with General Zod, participating in the release of Doomsday and the destruction of the Phantom Zone's control portals. As a leader, she guided survivors from that dimension. Faora also demonstrated extraordinary resilience by resisting Superman's heat vision, even delivering a blow that sent him flying across an entire area like Smallville. Within the ranks of the Sword of Ra, she was considered the most elite warrior, one who was not only powerful but also terrifyingly cold and efficient. Each of Faora's battles was not merely a confrontation. With sharp, cold eyes, every strike was clean and decisive. Faora wasted no movement, and when the battle concluded, what remained was not just ruin, but the indelible mark of a warrior born to dominate. The confrontation between Red She-Hulk and Faora Hu Ul is a clash between pure brute strength and the supreme combat skills of a Kryptonian warrior, where every small decision can change the entire dynamic. Red She-Hulk actively charges into close combat with incredibly destructive punches. However, Faora quickly shows her difference by using superior speed to dodge and counter from a distance with heat vision. While Betty can absorb some energy from attacks to increase her strength, Fiora gains the upper hand by flying into the air, controlling the distance, and continuously applying pressure. Not only that, she also utilizes Horu Kanu techniques to strike at weak points, causing her opponent to fall into a temporary state of paralysis. Red She-Hulk begins to reveal terrifying adaptability. Her thunderclaps create widespread shockwaves, forcing Fiora to move constantly. Betty leaps into the air, pursuing her opponent and absorbing more energy to increase her size and strength. However, Fiora is not pressured. She combines flight, superhuman vision, and precise attacks to constantly target critical points like the eyes or throat. Although Betty's healing ability is very fast, continuously taking damage makes it difficult for her to maintain an advantage for long. At the climax, Red She-Hulk reaches her peak state, with almost colossal size and power, each punch capable of destroying the surrounding terrain. This is the only time she could balance the fight if she could get Fiora onto the ground. But Fiora does not allow that to happen. With superior speed, she moves continuously in the air using relentless heat vision combined with the ability to observe weak points using X-ray vision, thereby delivering finishing blows. Fiora does not need to completely dominate in strength, but wins through her agility, spatial control, and sophisticated combat skills. While Red She-Hulk relies on closing the distance and dealing direct damage, Fiora always maintains distance, wearing down her opponent calculatedly. Faora Hu holds the advantage and is likely to win most of the time. Red She-Hulk's power is undeniable, but against a faster, more agile, and more precise opponent, she often finds herself on the defensive. Faora Hu Ul is stronger and wins 8 out of 10 times. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Follow me if you like. That's all for today's video. Thank you all very much.